Good evening, everyone. So tonight, been a week, almost a week since we've been able to stream. So tonight, figured we'd be picking up Jund again. Last time we played it, there was a few cards that I was very ho hum about. The main deck, the last round had things like Olivia Voldaren and Kalidas in the main deck, and those cards have been great at points in times in Modern. But at this point in time, Modern's gotten too quick for cards that don't really affect the board immediately or are not really overcosted for their abilities. So, in their place, and we've also cut one Scavenging Ooze in the main deck, in their place I have a second Chandra Torch of Defiance and then two Tireless Trackers. So, the theory behind Jund is kill, 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 land a threat, win. Tireless Tracker and Chandra play a lot better to the one for one your opponent into the ground strategy, in my opinion. Kalidas and Olivia can both run away with the game if allowed to. However, they do require you to untap with a card, whereas Chandra and Tireless Tracker. Chandra, if you have any activation, you're either getting 2 damage out of it, or you're killing a creature usually. Tireless Tracker, especially if you can hold a fetch land, you're getting like 2 cards out of the deal, even if they kill it immediately. So to me, that plays a lot better into the game plan of Jund. Noticed a lot of the Jund lists have gone to something like Goblin Rabblemaster at the 3-drop slot to try to, I don't want to say emulate Death Shadow, but to put a quicker clock on the board and try to end games quickly, because it's a lot harder to control the game one for one in Modern than it used to be. Another addition or difference between the last list we played and the sideboard has been a little more streamlined, changed around. Last sideboard had like a Stormbutt Dragon, had 4 copies of Fulminator Mage, like 3 copies of Kitchen Finks. So one for a little more streamlined, one for a couple Collective Brutalities and a couple Kitchen Finkses as our pseudo burn hate, but can come in other matchups like attrition matchups with Finks or Guns control decks with Collective Brutality. Liliana serves as another anti-blue-white X control deck card, and also for the grinding matchups can also come in against things like Affinity and Collected Company decks. Leyline in the Void and Surgical Extractions as our graveyard hate of choice. We went up to a second Ancient Grudge for things like Affinity and Eldrazi Tron and Lantern Control, and then we're down to 3 Fulminators. Honestly, I don't think, even with 4 Fulminators and 2 Surgicals, that we would be favored against the Valakut and Tron decks. So I think 3 is a fine number. In the matchups where we want to draw at least 1. Then you compare it with Surgical Extraction against Valakut decks, etc., to kind of cut them off their mana. So that is one slight different alteration. It does give us a little more balanced of a sideboard. So hopefully, no matter what matchup we're in, we will end up with a better sideboard in the matchup. Or better deck in post-board games. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. So, going to run through a league, see what happens. Last time we were a disappointing 2-3 with the deck. I think some of that was just the nature of Modern. Some of that was, I don't think that build of Jund was particularly optimized. So hopefully this version will be a little more in tune with what Jund's trying to do in the current format, which, part of the reason Death Shadow ended up taking over is because Death Shadow does what Jund and Abzan were trying to do a lot more efficiently. So, puts pressure on the opponent, disrupts them, and then tries to kill them before they can recover. Jund takes a little bit longer to kill the opponent, so it is a bit of a problem for the deck as a whole. Nevertheless, a lot of you seem to like Jund out there, so I figured we'd give it another run for its money with a slightly more optimized build, I think. So, still don't understand why that last version had Stormbutt Dragon in the sideboard. It was a very unusual one of. Must have had a lot of blue-white X, controlled X in their format. Alright, yes, we'd like to play first. Wish our opponent good luck. This hand's a little weird. So, I think it's a keep, but it is a little dangerous, admittedly. So, we don't have any one-drop interaction or Thoughtseize or Inquisition, but I'm not sure that's enough of a reason to mulligan, especially on the play. Up against McCoy, MCOUK. Wow. Alright, Copperline Gorge, go. Oh, so we get to go up against a Dredge deck right away. Fun, fun. Notice these Dredge slash Insolent Neonates decks seem to be popping up a little bit more. So that's kind of interesting. Does make me wish we had even more graveyard hate in our sideboard like I was contemplating, but you know, can only do so much. See if our opponent's actual Dredge or if they're still could be a few different decks. Nope, they're actual factual Dredge. So game one, this is going to be really rough. So even if we could play Liliana next turn, would we even want to tick it up? We can play Dak more salvage, get blood gas back. Sure. Seen Dredge pop up a few times in some lists. Honestly, it's not that well positioned at the moment, so it's kind of a curious okay, we draw Terminate with our so I can actually limited by the amount of mana I have, so it is actually a problem. By the amount of black mana I have, I should say. So, how do we want to address this? Guess we play out another Bob. I mean, we're probably not winning this game regardless. So, put as much pressure on our opponent as we can. That Conflagrate in the graveyard's really... Okay, they Dredge Life from the Loam, get a Nod of the... Main deck Nod of the Bone? Really? Oh, this is going to be miserable. Comes Blood Gas, we take a hit for 2. Really like to see... I'd really like to see Scavenging his next turn. Swamp and we're in Catacombs. So the question becomes, how do I approach this turn? Liliana admittedly doesn't do a lot here. How much does holding up mana even do for us, though? Guess we'll go ahead and Liliana plus just to try to reduce some amount of the cards in their hand. Or one of these. No. Get rid of a Terminate, since that's one of the ones I know about. I'll probably just pitch a land here. No, pitch an Archimedes that they couldn't get into the action anyway. Alright, so they dredge with Life from the Loam. They had a couple of Thugs and a Faithless Looting. Flashing back a Looting. Looks like the answer is yes. Okay, they hit an Amalgam. Alright. Hit an Amalgam off that nonsense. Put the 2 Thugs back into the yard. Alright. Chandra and Scavenging Ooze. Alright, so go ahead and attack with these 2. Target opponent sacks their Bloodghast. So there are a good number of draws here on our part that could kill us. So for starters, we go ahead and eat the Conflagrate, eat the Gnaw to the Bone. Our opponent dredge here, see what they dredge. So we've really got to be careful here on what we hit with. So presumably we can actually lethal our opponent here. This Flashing Bath, Faithless Looting. Looks like it. Sure. Alright, so our opponent will get their amalgams back, which is moderately relevant. They can get their blood gas back, drop us to 3. Here comes Bloodgast. Alright, we'll go to 3. Now it just comes down to whether we die to Bob or not. Enough creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, eat a Bloodgast. Eat a Neonate. The first Bob flip. Alright, so eat a Neonate. No matter what we flip here, we're not dead. Good. Fatal Push your... Woo! That was a close one. Ooh, double Bobby. Always scary with double Bobby. Alright, let's get these surgical extractions and ley lines in here. So these Lilianas are kind of totally garbage. Things might serve some role. What other cards don't really do what we want it to do? Discard spells are only moderately reasonable. Bolts give us reach. So what is the worst card in this? The Kolagon's Command? Might just be the Kolagon's Command. Everything else kind of serves a purpose. Some theaters where Fulminators would be good. Some theaters where Liliana, the Last Hope, would be good. But I think they're all kind of a whole bunch of the same thing. Grindy cards when we're not really... This isn't really a grind matchup per se. I don't think we can keep this hand. We'll mulligan to... Yeah, we'll keep a surgical extraction on top. Opponent has Faithless Looting. Question is, do they have 1 Dredger or 2? Okay, so the question is here, do we go after their Dredger or do we go after the Amalgams? That is a very interesting question. I think I'm supposed to go after the amalgams here. See if they have any weird tech they brought in. Burning Inquiry, Blood Gas, Abrupt Decays. So much of the rest of their hand is kind of garbage. I mean, they have the one Knot of the Bone, which was annoying. So their hand is... Hand is Bloodghast, City of Brass, Conflagrate, and Narcomoeba. Weird one. Okay, so they hit a Narcomoeba, which is annoying. We'll get that in a Bloodghast back. Ah. Okay. So... go get a Forest here. Play out the Confidant. And pass. Could die to just morons.deck. They do play the Bloodghast here. Nope, Conflagrate the Bob. So what do we even do here? Well, one of the amoebas, since we're not really into the business of these Bloodghasts at the moment. Alright, take 3. Flashing back, Faithless Looting, sure. Bloodghast and Stinkwood Imp. Alright. So, what could their hand possibly have that we would care about at this point? So... Alright, well, let's see what's going on over there. Not that we have Life from the Loam and Cathartic Reunion. We'll get rid of Cathartic Reunion. And then just pass here. Don't have any pressure. They did Dredge, Stinkweed Imp. Life from the Loam. Getting back a bunch of lands. Excuse me. We want what? Maximum green sources in case we draw. Scavenging Ooze here. Flashing back. Yep, here comes Conflagrate. Alright, we're just dead to Exaxes. Alright. So maybe we should have hit the Dredger there. Hindsight's always 20/20. But we did get to see their deck, which was nice. Not really change anything. Not particularly. Love to see Leyline of the Void in their opening hand. Since they don't really have a way to interact with it, the Abrupt K's just don't hit it. Surgicals aren't, like, they're tactical and they're fine, but they're not, like, lights out. And then Leyline is the KO card, but we can't really go down too far looking for it. Like, I think going to 6 there was perfectly reasonable. Going to 5, we really don't have a huge chance to see it. And if that Bob lived, maybe we would have had a chance that game, but as it was, we were kind of Bob Scoos. Scavenging Ooze enough of a reason to keep this hand. I think it is. So what do we lead on here? I think we lead on Overgrown Tomb, pass. Always have the Faithless looting, don't they? Bloodghast and Thug. I still think Bob is our best. Bobby. Lead on Bobby. Opponent gets an Amalgam and a... If they have a land, this gets very ugly. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they, right? Here comes Bloodghast. There comes the prized Amalgam. Cathartic Reunion too? Oh, wonderful. Please excuse me while I vomit. Turn 2, 1 billion power on the table, confirmed. I'm not really sure we have something come back from this. 369. Yeah, as fun as that was, I think we got to scoop to that one because, 9, 10, that much power on the table turn 3 is a little redonkulous. All right, well, Dredge is not usually the matchup you want to see as a mid-range control deck, unless you're packing a lot of heat, so to speak. 4 ley lines, I think, would have been necessary to kind of beat that type of draw. I mean, it's possible we should have gone to 6 looking for ley line, but I think ooze on 3 with the ability to eat a creature is fine against most of Dredge's draws. Kind of annoying when they get their yield nut draws. 5 lands, Dark Confidant. I think that's a mulligan. His hand isn't great, but I think we keep it. Don't think we want a second Liliana. So, what do we lead on here? There's something that punishes us for leading on Swamp. I don't think so, but I think I'll just play out Blackcleave Cliffs. Affinity or Lantern? Looks like Lantern. Opponent takes Bob. I was about to say hi and good luck to my opponent, but they're playing Lantern, so I'm not really interested in saying hi. Brixus, sure. Do you have Lantern? Of course you do. Yeah, I'm not really interested in playing against this garbage game 1. I'm not going to sit here and lose 20 minutes of my life because my opponent is playing a deck that it's just absolute trash to play against, in all honesty. So, alright, what other cards? I need to get these fatal pushes out of here. What other cards are not any good? Terminates, likewise, are garbage. I mean, we have outs in the main deck, but the odds of hitting, an Abrupt K or one of the 2 Culligan's commands are so small. Brutality, not really. Lily the Last Hope, is there any reason to bring that in? I don't think so. Am I bringing in Finks, or am I bringing in Leyline of the Void? I suppose it's Finks. We need a clock on the table. Alright, so we want to see a hand with as much artifact removal as possible. This hand seems fine. Scavenging uses a clock. It's not a fast clock, but it's a clock. Bolt gives us a little bit of reach. Lantern of Insight, huh? Okay, so we draw a Thoughtseize. So what is more important to get? Ancient Grudge or... I need double black, so either way we're getting a black source. Gotta get Overgrown Tomb here. Go ahead and lead on Thoughtseize. Room Invention, Ancient Stirrings, Ancient Stirrings. I would normally agree, but the fact that they have yeah, you're probably right. I was more interested in taking whatever their particular nonsensical answer to, and I wanted to make sure the coast was clear for Grudge, that they didn't have Surgical Extraction or something, which a lot of these lists run, what, 2 or 3 of in the main deck even. So I think I have to take, what, Thoughtseize here. But yeah, that would have been the more mana efficient play. Ancient Stirrings. Okay, they have Inquisition on the top of their deck. Sure. So what should I be doing here? Blowing up their Lantern of Insight and immediately extracting it? No, guess they aren't even giving us the option to extract it. No, because they they wisely realized that was probably our strategy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why I absolutely hate like 1,000,000,000% hate this deck. Not Jund, Lantern Control. I absolutely hate playing against it. I absolutely hate the fact that it exists. It is such a miserable time for your opponent. Like, I mean, I guess we grudge their Lantern, but then they can get back in like 2 turns. We are if they... Maybe. Except for the fact we know we're drawing Inquisition next turn, and we're stuck on lands. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was Bowling Green. It's a little bit south of it. No. So they're going to name Liliana here or Scavenging Ooze? Liliana of the Veil. Ironically, I don't know that Liliana... I mean, I guess they know we drew Liliana, but it's not really relevant. So, Inquisition, take their Whir. And Flashback Grudge on their Codex Shredder here. Let's say, if I remember correctly, there was actually kind of dumb on our opponent's part. They took themselves off of some of the possibility of drawing enough artifacts. Alright, so what do I play here? Which is just, I think it's just ooze and start chowing down. I want to get rid of their lantern here, just to avoid them flashing it back. So it does make me wonder what the heck they... Yeah, and I wanted to play Tracker with the ability to get value. Like, I don't want Tracker to just randomly die to... I guess they technically couldn't have Abrupt Decay here. They would need one more... they'd need one more land, or one more artifact to be able to... They're hard... So what is their hand? All Words of Invention and black spells they can't cast? Oh yeah, I agree we're looking good here at the moment. But, alright, let's crack a clue. What am I even looking for here? Bloodstained Mire. Alright, so if I eat something, go to... or use this, go to 7. Next turn, 8. Does that increase the clock? 3, 7, 8. So 7 and 8, 15. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to risk... because this puts them on a 2-turn clock. With the bold, it puts them on a 2-turn clock. Alright, so they have access to... Guessing they have... what? Alright, green, red, and that. Fire up this. This Word of Invention for nonsense. Alright, there comes your stupid ensnaring bridge. Alright, so they gain a life, go to 6. Hopefully they can't empty their... I'm gonna say, hopefully they can't empty their hand, but there's only so much we can do here. Oh, crap. Oh, there goes Lightning Bolt. That's what I get for auto-passing. Oh no, they can't. Interesting. The heck is this? Word of Invention for... Lantern of Insight. Surgical Extraction. Do you want to let me draw Surgical Extraction? All right. Hopefully we find a good one here. Question becomes, all right, Dark Confidant, not really a card we were interested in drawing. Holding Jar, sure, whatever. Question is, what the heck are they going to go get that they're so willing to... Go ahead and bolt you. Please be a good one. Chandra? Yeah, Chandra will do it. So right now they've got, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They currently have, so we can't do Chandra this turn. This will force them to have an activation, or they're dead. One, two. This only gives them one draw step to find a Pithing Needle or another Inventor's Fair. So I think I'm okay with this outcome. Normally I'd let them act first, but I don't want them to get into a situation where they're favored on mana. So I don't even know what card can save them here. Other than Staring Bridge ain't gonna do it. Sure. And okay. So they get a random one-off to find the answer. All right. All right, so what am I bringing in then, in addition to what's already in the deck? I don't think Leyline of the Void's better than anything else. I don't think Brutality hits enough stuff, does it, with Whir? I mean, it is a little bit of reach, but what would I be bringing it in over as? Doesn't seem like Liliana is that great in this matchup. So do I bring in like a couple of Collective Brutalities and board out a couple Liliana of the Veil? I mean, Liliana's ultimate could be something, but that's a little risky. Because So we know they have Whir and Ancient Stirrings and discard spells, but discard will be played before Brutality. Yeah, I was just trying to think if there was a reason to bring in Brutality over something else. And it seems like the next weakest card is... Alright, then probably just go with the 60 as it is. I don't think Fulminators is how we want to be attacking them. I don't think Brutalities. Leyline in the Void. I mean, it could potentially shut off Academy Ruins, but that's not really great. So I could, but I don't really think on the draw trying to cut him off mana is that effective. Triple blue for Academy. Yeah, I suppose. You mean were? So is there a reason to... This hand is just weird. We have none of our artifact hate. We have discard and a confidant, but is that good enough? Okay. I mean, generally speaking, I know if discard spell on the Fulminator or Dark Confidant's a good thing. I'm just not familiar with this particular matchup. Yeah, I figured it's not easy for them to kill outside of like Abrupt Decay or having a discard spell here. I'm more interested in playing Lantern of Insight. And we get a third land that we kind of wanted anyway, so... Alright, it's a shame to give up on that discard spell, but at the same time we want to try to poke a hole in their strategy. So... You're seeing 2 cards per turn. That's fair enough. I think we'll get Overgrown Tomb here. Okay, Inquisition, see what they're working with. Ghoul Colors Bell and Ensnaring Bridge. Huh. Guess we gotta take the bridge, but with the knowledge they can get it back. So. Actually, huh. If... So, 1, 2... So they wanted to leave the ability to activate Ensnaring Bridge up, which is annoying. I think we run out Bobby here. We gotta get a red source. I guess with this particular thing, do I just get a forest here, or do I get a red source? I don't want to take a huge amount of damage, because Bob could eventually kill us, but, you know. Now they could just leave mono 3 drops on the top of our library. Yep, they're going to put Ensnaring Bridge back on top. Okay, so they get Ensnaring Bridge, Tentacle Sanctum. So they get to play a bridge out here. And they get to get, yep, Gold Color's Bell. Alright, so we're taking 3 minimum, drawing Ancient Grudge, which they're going to Ghoul Caller's Bell, but we still get to put it in the... Play out Scavenging Ooze. So they do get to Thoughtseize us here. Alright, sure. Another Scavenging Ooze on top. Go ahead and get a Forest here. Let them play out the Welding Jar. In response, blow up your Ensnaring Bridge. Bob drops us to 7. Tarmogoyf, Lightning Bolt. So for starters, we're going to go ahead and eat your Ensnaring Bridge, just so there's no unnecessary nonsense going on here. Play out a Goyf. Alright, cancel. Green, that, play out a Goyf. So 4, 6, 8. They're on a 2-turn clock. Okay, sure. Darkslick Shores. Go to 6 here. Alright, go ahead and attack with everybody. Put out Kitchen Finks. Give up the ability to eat something. Hope they don't find an Ensnaring Bridge. Witchbane Orb, sure, whatever. And game. Whew. I must say I really hate that matchup. I think I might have mentioned that earlier in the matchup. Alright, I'll be back here in a few. Thanks everyone for tuning in so far. Be right back. Alright, we're back. So, that matchup felt alright despite all my bitching about it. Especially once we got the grudges in. Alright, we're up against Judge Coke. So, what does this hand do? Mono creatures, Dark Confidant, Dark Confidant. Go if, yeah, we'll go ahead and keep it. Okay. Opponent leads on Overgrown Tomb. Is this the... Oh, Infect. So it looks like we're up against either 3-color Infect or 2-color Infect. No, 3-color. This is like one of our worst possible hands against Infect, per se. Alright, we're going to get hit for 2 here. Alright, so what am I playing out? Dark Confidant? Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. I'll grab Blood Crypt here. Guess we don't block and hope they can't kill us. Might be a bit much to ask here. Yeah, this matchup should be actually quite good, but because force the situation. Sure. Phyrexian Crusader. So, guess we play this. Oh, Tarmogoyf. Protection from white and from red. That's awkward. Forced to continue them to continue burning pump spells. So we're up against black-green. Guess we could be dead to become immense here, pretty much. Tarmogoyf goes to a 1. A 1. What do we get here? Overgrown Tomb. Dark Confidant. Play out Scavenging Ooze. I'm still stuck on 2 cards here. Yep, they're definitely black-green in fact. So we have a removal spell, it just doesn't hit Phyrexian Crusader here. Okay, another Glistener Elf, sure. Confidant. Okay, Inquisition and Terminate. Start with an Inquisition. See what the opponent's got over there. 2 lands. Alright, so play out Raging Ravine. Terminate the Noble, because that's the biggest pain in the duker right now. And pass. Our opponent was holding Misty Rainforest and Overgrown Tomb. Oh, Pendelhaven's not a bad one here. Sure. We'll take 2 here. Go ahead and chomp down with our Scavenging Ooze. To see like a Fatal Pusher or something. Liliana. So terminate. Alright, let's start by fetching here, getting a swamp. That. Play out Liliana. So tick up Liliana, get one of the stupid lands out of your hand. Terminate one of your other idiots here. And pass. Alright, there's Inkmoth Nexus. Which Inkmoth is a bit of a tilt, but only do so much here. Alright, so this will go ahead and chomp down on your other idiot there. Kulagon's Command and Dark Confidant. So do I really want a second Dark Confidant in play? I think the answer is no. See if we can get our opponent to make a move here with Inkmoth Nexus. Sure. Yep. They play a land this turn? Nope. So chew on a Tarmogoyf. Chew on a Dark Confidant. Target player. Okay. Destroy target artifact. Do that and that. Black, red, that. Fair enough. Still is going to end up accomplishing what I want it to. And then chump on this Dark Confidant. So you lose your idiots. Okay, you don't quite lose them. Tireless Tracker. I can't really afford to block here. Should have activated Liliana to kill one of their idiots. Making mistakes in this game. Alright. Opponent scooped. Alright, on to sideboarding. So Liliana's Last Hope is great. Collective Brutality is pretty great. Some consideration for Fulminators? Okay, let's start with what cards I don't want. Maelstrom Pulse is a little weak. One Chandra might be a little weak. We're trying to play the 1-for-1 game, so don't want to really board out Tireless Trackers. My question is, am I supposed to board out like one Lily of the Veil and... Huh. What's the last cut? Maybe one of the Brutalities. Try it like that. Because we want as many ways as possible to kill Phyrexian Crusader. Because they're... what does this hand even do? I think on the draw we'll go ahead and keep this one, especially with our opponent mulliganing. Possible this hand was too slow of a keep. Well, I mean, if we draw lands, this hand gets really good real quick. Inkmoth Nexus, okay. Alright, Collective Brutality. I think we don't go ahead and want to run out Confidant here. Want to maximize our shot to hit our third land. See if our opponent has something like Fatal Push on end step. Yep, okay. So our opponent gets to be a little more interactive than we are. Maybe we should have brought in something else to attack them. Okay, Phyrexian Crusader, sure. Ugh. Alright, well, I mean... Target creature gets -2/-2, do that. So unless you specifically have... What am I pitching here? Maybe one of our scoozes. You have to have specifically mutagenic growth here. Blossoming Defense, Mind of Volcrosa, Vines of the Vastwood. Let's take Blossoming Defense. Pendelhaven, that was kind of an annoying draw. So now our opponent gets to, what, 6 us here? Yep. Alright, so what does this allow us to do? Inquisition. Take your vines. Play out a Tarmogoyf. We get an overgrown tomb here. Play out a Goyf. It's not like things are getting any better. I mean, kept a no removal hand, so if we die here, we kind of deserve it. Drop home spell. Of course you did. Alright, so note to self, don't keep the no removal hand. So I think we bring out these Tireless Trackers, bring in these Fulminator Mages. Collective Brutality in that spot was pretty awesome. What are we cutting? Like maybe shave AK Command and a Chandra. So lower our curve as much as possible. Have more answers to their threats than they do. And they have threats. Alright. Inquisition into Liliana. Is that good enough? Sure, we'll keep it. And this hand's one major weakness is Inkmoth Nexus, or multiple threats, I guess. Plague Stinger, Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. Ugh. So that hand is actually very annoying. So what could I conceivably take here to make us have an easier time? If I take the Inquisition, then they run out Plague Stinger, and at least we can kill... Because they have Inkmoth. This hand is truly... I think I'm supposed to take Inquisition here and try to blow up their curve a little bit. Forest, Misty Rainforest, yeah, I can cast Nissa, unfortunately. What, did you draw a play on one, really? Seriously? Are you flipping kidding me? All right. Yeah, I guess we play Bob. They can easily kill it. Yep. All right, there's Bobby. So Hunt gets to play Nissa here. Abrupt Decay is gone. Make a plant token, sure. Okay, we get Thoughtseize out of the deal. See what they've drawn. Plague Stinger, Noble Hierarch, Glistener Elf. I think Plague Stinger is the most annoying in that batch. Time to start attacking Nissa here. See if they want to chump block or what they're going to do. All right. You need to draw some kill spells here. And I guess Liliana is sort of a kill spell. So Liliana uptick, get rid of their last card. Get rid of our Blood Crypt here. We lost a Phyrexian Crusader in the deal. And we're in some rough shape here. Alright, pump up Nickmoth. Counters on everything. No blocks. Oh, they used it to take out Liliana. Okay. Scavenging Ooze is not really what we're looking for here. All right, tick down. It's unfortunate. Really wish they would attack with their Glistener Elf here. Seems to me that they're not representing. All right, well, let's eat that. Eat Plague Stinger. Trigger Bloodstained Mire and Liliana the Last Hope. So what am I bringing back here? Because this isn't killing anything. So do I just blind try to hit? Go after your Glistener Elf. And pass. Hope we don't die. Sure. Interesting. So I think our best hit here would be Fulminator Mage. Abrupt Decay and Fatal Push. Down tick and hope to hit a Fulminator Mage. Huh. Confidant was not really the card we were looking for here. Use Abrupt Decay to kill that. And then hope our opponent doesn't attack with more than one idiot? Question mark. Okay. Yep. Probably have some type of defensive spell by this point. Not that it really matters. We're dead on board as it is anyway, so. Yep. Alright. Well, I'm sure there was some, like, the decision where we end up Inquisitioning our opponent's Inquisition and they top deck an Inquisition. It's possible we should have just taken the Nissa. Would have probably bought us a lot more time. Trying to think of any other situations. I think that was the only controllable punt, so to speak, or controllable decision. Take their Nissa or their Plague Stinger there, and then let them Inquisition us and take the Liliana. It's also possible that hand was a mulligan, but I don't like going down too much in matchups where you have interaction plus interaction. Like, theoretically, Inquisition and Liliana should put us in a pretty decent shape. Bob the Builder. Used to know what he was on all the time, but it's been a while since I played him, so. Like, I've seen him on Burn and a few other, like, random zoo-ish decks. So, he might be on something like that. He might be on something off the wall. Most of the decks he plays tend to be, this is obviously a mulligan. Sure, we'll keep his hand. Fatal Push. Got a Bolt, not Terminate. I think we'll push to the bottom. Oh. Okay. So, lead on this. Island in the Serum Visions, there are so many decks that could be. At least we know it's not Merfolk. Alright. Hopefully he will play a second land, and he or she will play a second land and give us some idea of... Okay. My money is on Storm then, so... I'm going to go ahead and fetch a basic Swamp here, I guess. Any reason to get a second green source? Okay. Thoughtseize. Alright, nope. He's on Breach. So, what card? I think we just take Snap here, right? Snap gives him the most. So he's on Breach Titan, or not Breach Titan, he's on Breach Recall. Blue-red through the Breach. Another Dark Confidant. Well, now we're kind of regretting not taking their, some regards we're regretting not taking their Lightning Bolt, but I think leaving them with Snapcaster is basically a Lightning Bolt anyway, so I'll go ahead and Electrolyze us on end step here, I'm guessing. Yep. They are a potential Blood Moon deck, especially post-board, so that's something to note. Tarmogoyf is a 4/5. Alright, so I guess we start running out our confidants now. And if they draw through the Breach, they draw through the Breach. Alright, so confidant's probably going to die to a Bolt. Yep, here comes Lightning Bolt. Ding! Zap. Sure. So Only card we know in our opponent's hand is Emrakul. Is this an Electrolyze too? Is it Charm? Draw 2, discard 2. Okay. That's not a good sign. So our opponent discarded this Cryptic Command, tap the team, draw a card. Guess not. Not quite yet. They must have the Breach and the Emrakul in hand. They're just looking for the land. So this will conceivably present lethal next turn. Peak. Sure. And yeah, I was gonna say this feels like Cryptic Command. Oh, return to my hand, draw a card. So we theoretically could have terminated there, but you know. Alright, play out this Tarmogoyf. And pass. I'm presuming you're just missing the land to kill me, right? Alright, play out the Bloodstained Mire. Play out the Tarmogoyf. Play out the Confidant. Hope you brick on a land. Probably not. Do you have the Through the Reach? Sure. Alrighty. So opponent is Breach Titan. So for this matchup, we want the Surgicals. There is some consideration for these Collective Brutalities, some consideration for these Kitchen Finxes, some consideration even for the Fulminator Mages, some consideration for the Lilianas. So what cards do we not want? Maelstrom Pulse is a little bit of garbage. These Fatal Pushes are garbage, question mark. We've usually got Snapcaster Mage and yeah, they usually have Snap and Vendilion Click. And they also have the option for something like Blood Moon. So we want the Brutalities. What about the Finxes? Let me go down one of those, bring in a Finx. There's some consideration to try to play the Fulminator game. I mean, they fetch a lot of basics. I don't know how relevant the Fulminator game is. The fact they're the combo reversion, I think we just want to push damage as much as possible. Guess I'd like to play first. We'll keep. This hand isn't great, but so leave on cliffs and pass. I don't want to thought seize until the turn before I'm going to start playing my spells, so I mean, if we drew Dark Confidant here or Tarmogoyf, we'd be punished. But I think as is, gotta be careful what they do with their Serum Vision Scries. Top and top. It's unfortunate. So I think I go ahead and Thoughtseize here. Through the Breach, Snapcaster, Serum Visions, and Electrolyze. So, guess as always, the answer is Snapcaster Mage. Play out this, pass. Okay. Opponent knows what the cards are coming. We'll see if they keep the... they would have seen both cards now. Bottom, top. Alright. Liliana of the Veil. It's an interesting one in the face of... We're not the Liliana. I think we are discarding Terminate here pretty easily. It discards one of their Electrolyzes. So what do we run out here? Tarmogoyf? Play out that. Since I'm committed to running out the Tarmogoyf here, I can just go ahead and do this. Plus this, push this up. Get rid of what, the Finks here? Goyf's up to a 4/5 now. So they're going to electrolyze our face, or what are they going to do? Okay, do you redirect to Liliana? Looks like the answer is yes. Looking for a bolt to finish off Liliana? Sure. Alright, so go ahead and get in with Tarmogoyf. Play out Tireless Tracker here. Player opponent doesn't have like a remand or something. Of course you would have like the one card that we don't want you to have. Pass. So we know our opponent has half the combo. Question is, were they able to find... No. If they had the... they had the Emrakul half the equation, we'd just be dead. So what do I play here? I think we just play Derp and Goyf. Cryptic, draw, discard. All right. They're fetching, that's scary. So they might have drawn Blood Moon here? Guess not. Snapcaster Cryptic Command? Of course. So annoying. Opt. Card on bottom. Okay. Man, we are really getting punished for this particular line of play. At least I was presuming there was a reason why. Oh, okay, sure, whatever. Pass. Yeah, as soon as they find one Emrakul, we're dead. What? This into... Sure. How your opponent can annoy you to death. Counterspell after counterspell. Draw a card. Sure. And pass. One, two, three, four. Well, Tarmogoyf. Does this resolve? Probably not. Sure. How about now? Well, discards a Through the Breach, which makes me believe they have multiple Through the Breaches in hand. Okay. Go ahead, opponent. Draw two, discard two. Alright. So they discarded a Blood Moon. and scooped. Okay. Somehow we got through that. So what cards seem relevant? Terminates are trash. Their only way of winning seems to be excuse me. Their only way of winning seems to be, we'll go ahead and just bring in the full graveyard hate nonsense. And the final cut, maybe a K command. Since they only seem to be on the Snapcaster, Through the Breach, etc. plan, so. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for tuning in this evening for our replay, well, not replay, our second go around with Jund here. Playing a lot of, like, I don't want to say fringe matchups, but a lot of, okay, this hand's total garbage. Is there any consideration for keeping this hand? We have no interaction before, no interaction or threats before 3. Gotta be a mulligan. Yeah, this hand seems fine. We can fetch basic if necessary. Tarmogoyf seems like something we're in the market for. Yep, Serum Visions. Alright, play out Verdant and pass. Just intend on playing our... Yep. Especially with an opener like this, it just seems relevant to play... Okay, get our Forest here. Get our Swamp here. I think Tarmogoyf matters the least here. Though our opponent seems just keep showing us being on the Remand, etc. plan, so not like this card is likely to die, but looks like a Remand's incoming. Yep, okay. Next turn, if our opponent slams Blood Moon, which is certainly a possibility given their opening. Nope, okay. So what are the odds that we go after their, like, Remand here with Surgical? Feels kind of loose. Alright, here comes Tarmogoyf. Resolves this time. Next turn, if our opponent still doesn't Blood Moon, I think we go ahead and... Sure. Yeah. See, let's get your remand out of there. Yep, there's another remand, sure. So your hand is Electrolyze, Bolt, Opt, Snapcaster. Alright, so remand. Got 3 Blood Moons, 3 Emrakuls, Delkin Shackles, so that could prove problematic. So what was their hand there? I think we'll go ahead and grab our other... We will grab our other swamp. Play max around Blood Moon here. So ironically, I'm not terribly worried about my... Question is, what do I pitch here? I mean, Dark Confidant doesn't seem like he's doing a whole lot in this picture, so maybe I just plus him. Do I plus and get rid of the Confidant, or do I plus and get rid of Fulminator Mage here? Get rid of... I guess Confidant, because it seems like the least likely to have an impact on this game. Besides, it'll buff Migoif to a 4/5. Our opponent has to decide what they want to go after. Okay, I guess it looks like you're going after Liliana here. Draws a card, top and bottom. Okay, Raging Ravine's a fine card. So 5 drops them to 8. Well, Fulminator. Oh, I suppose take them off a mana source. I don't think it particularly matters here. This a breach. Okay. Alright, well. We had a chance to take them off their 5th land, and we didn't, so... Huh. So what were the odds in that, what, 3 draw steps? They found exactly the cards they were looking for. Alright, so... And there's always a chance there... There's always a chance that they had another land in hand anyway. but we will never know. Inquisition. Alright, Eldrazi Tron. Expedition map, expedition map. So, expedition map, expedition map. So we can keep them off of Tron for now. Pass. Doesn't feel like a great matchup. Alright, there's the Tron land, and maybe next turn we can induce them into playing Matter Reshaper. And then theoretically we could blow up the expedition map with Maelstrom Pulse. Sure. Go ahead and draw a card. Draw Fatal Push. So we know our opponent's hand is these two cards. We're supposed to use... What are we supposed to use here? I think the risk of them hitting... something we care about is too high. Alright, Eldrazi. And Thought Knot, I'm sure. Of course. Question is, though, what do you take here? Probably Liliana, I would guess. Yep. Alright, go to 13. Tireless Tracker and... play out Tireless Tracker, play this, get a clue, fetch, get a swamp, get another clue, kill your Thought Knot Seer, draw a card, draw another Tireless Tracker, get in with Confidant. Hope you don't go land Reality Smasher. Okay, Basilisk Color's moderately annoying. Sure. Shows you attack? Yes, you are. Okay. Alright, so we see a bolt there. Green, green. From the black. Play out that. Play out this. Alright, pass. See what our opponent does here. So 3, go ahead and bolt this. Hopefully you don't have anything relevant off of it. Okay, you got a Ghost Quarter. Does that allow you to cast anything? Apparently not. Alright, so we're up against E-Tron. We want these Fulminator Mages. Anything else we're interested in? I guess theoretically Fulminator plus Surgical Extraction, but how far do we want to go down that rabbit hole? Tally doesn't do anything. Grudge is tempting. Depends on. Probably get these bolts out of here. Probably cut on like one Fatal Push. Huh. K-Command. Is K-Command enough of a hedge against their artifact plan? Inquisitions don't do a ton on the draw. We try it like this? Question mark. Okay, those are questionables. These are questionables. Stuff in the middle doesn't do anything. Try it like this. Alright, so Thoughtseize into... Yeah, we'll keep this hand. Relic, sure. Fortunately, we're not on the I care about Relic plan. Okay, do this. Another Relic and a Hanger Backwalker. I care more about the Hanger Backwalker. And pass. Alright, our opponent draw. Okay, another Relic, sure, whatever. Alright, so run out the Confidant. And pass. Alright, so our opponent can basically cast anything here. This freaking Ballista. It is. Okay. Sure, whatever. Alright, so guess we run out Liliana here. Plus it. Guess we're pitching Blood Crypt. Okay. I'll probably discard like, okay, so they still have wastes in their hand. Expedition map, sure. We find Twilight Mire. Play out this here, Chandra. Go ahead and exile the top card. That was kind of dumb. We really didn't want a Fatal Push anyway. So we are now taking our opponent's ability away to... Why would you do that in response? So dumb. Oh, okay, so they're keeping us from... Alright, what is this? Ballista onto, sure. Ugh. So the top card, see what it is. Terminate. Force our opponent to sack this. You're going to go after Liliana. Now it becomes, what's the bigger threat, Liliana or... Interesting. All right, nope. All right, pass. See if our opponent sacks there. We do not. All right. All right, now they're sacking the relic. Another relic, sure. It's kind of risky. Opponent loses all his dust. Get a Raging Ravine. Get a Dorko. Oof. Oof. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Expedition map. Whew. So, is our opponent just dead? 4-4. Yeah, they were just dead on board. All right. So, back to Jund. So we went 2-3, which was the same record as we went last time with Jund. We had a couple of games that were like if I would have cast Fulminator Mage, well, I didn't cast. If I would have used Fulminator Mage to blow up our opponent's Steam Vents against that blue-red Breach deck, we might have won that third game. And then against Black-Green Infect, if I would have Inquisitioned their Nissa instead of taking their Inquisition and they top deck another Inquisition, those two plays might have turned it around so we were 4-1. That being said, we did beat Lantern and we did beat Blue-Red or Eldrazi Tron. The matchup against, what was the first match? Dredge. Dredge is, at the moment it's a fringe-ish deck. You really have to have enough graveyard hate really to beat that. Cutting a third Scavenging Ooze might have hurt us a little bit, but I mean, you can't really predict Dredge being a huge part of the meta. So overall, I think I like this build of Jund a lot better than the last one we ran. And a couple of different decision points we might have done better. We might have been able to 3-2 or 4-1. So, I mean, all things considered, it was pretty fun. felt a lot better than the last version where we were running like one of Olivia, one of Kalidas, and one of Stormbreath in the sideboard. The fourth Fulminator Mage you might want to somehow get back into the list. Overall, though, I think I really like this main deck configuration a lot. I like the second Chandra. I like the Tireless Trackers. They definitely prove their worth. Tarmogoyf. Scavenging Ooze, 2 over 3 of is fine. Dark Confidence, fine. Removal Suite's fine. I mean, the only thing up for debate is like the third Terminate slot, maybe, for something else. But I really think there's a lot of matchups where you do want Terminate over like even Fatal Push or Bolt. You know, can kill a lot of things in the Eldrazi matchup, can kill a lot of things in the Death Shadow Grixis matchup. So, there's a lot to be said. The Kolaghan's commands, Fulminator Liliana allows you to like potentially like Stone Rain your opponent 3 or 4 times. I think overall this build is better. I don't know if it's the best build of Jund. Sideboard felt pretty fluid. A lot of the cards, you know, I think we boarded in everything at some point. And I'm not questioning like the one of like Stormbreath Dragon. I'm sitting here going, well, you know, I might want a 4th Fulminator Mage, or I might want this, or I might want that. But overall, I think I like this balance of the sideboard. Maybe cut one of the brutalities for another Finks, or brutality for the 4th Fulminator. But, you know, overall, the results didn't show it. But, I mean, we had 2 decision points that we made that could have changed the impact of how things played out. And there was a couple mulligan decisions, like the same game where I Inquisitioned and took their Inquisition. I could have, you know, the hand was 5 lands, Inquisition, Liliana. So maybe that's a mulligan against a black-green Infect deck. I'm not really 100% sure there. But overall, I like this feel of this Jund list a lot better than the random one of Olivia and Kalidas and the one of Stormbreath Dragon in the sideboard. So I think this build's a lot better and a lot more balanced, and maybe it just takes some more knowledge of the deck and knowing how to play it right. So thank you everyone for YouTube for tuning into this. For those of you here on Twitch, I'm going to switch over and play a little bit of Mono White Vampires in Standard. So if you don't want to stick around for that, thank you for tuning in. Feel free to hit that follow button. We do a lot of Standard and Modern content here on the channel. Lately I've been playing a little bit more slanted back towards Modern, but we still do play a little bit of Standard every now and again when I see a deck catches my eye. I much prefer Modern to Standard at this point. That's just my personal preference, but you know, there are some fun Standard decks that pop up, like the Esper Approach deck, the Mono White Vampires deck that I haven't had a chance to play yet, etc. So I play a little bit of both, and someday we might get into Legacy. All depends, but for now, this is it for Jund. I'm going to be switching over, getting cards for Mono White Vampires from Mana Traders. So I'm going to stop the recording on Jund, and if anyone wants to chat while we're switching over, that'd be great.